It's Monday, September 21st. Welcome aboard to this edition of Barnstable Today. I'm Kevin Friel.
And I'm Andrew Gobeil. Thank you very much for joining us.
We'd like to remind you right at the top that the meetings we cover are available on demand at the town's website, www.town.barnstable.ma.us.
It is an absolutely beautiful day as we are in these last days of summer. We're standing here in front of Town Hall because one of the issues that came before the Town Council on Thursday night inside the meeting was the actual exterior of Town Hall and utilizing some community preservation funds to pay for the much-needed renovation and repair of the exterior. We'll hear first from Town Manager John Clem and then a number of members of the staff to actually discuss the need for the repairs. We'll talk a little bit more on the other side coming up right after this.
At their meeting on June 22nd, 2009, the Community Preservation Committee unanimously recommended support for the Town of Barnstable Department of Public Works funding for the Town Hall exterior envelope preservation and rehabilitation project.
The building exterior envelope is in very tough shape. The building is over 100 years old, and its exterior envelope, if you will, has not really received the kind of attention that's needed over the years. The committee looked long and hard at what was needed and determined that it would be best to start from the outside and work in, and therefore we brought this proposal forward. The committee voted to expend the funds from three sources, and through you would recommend that we take the entire allotment of the dedicated balance for the historical portion of our funding of the $429,000 from that, and then split the remaining request to you from the undesignated funds, the bulk of the funds that remain in the Community Preservation Act funds, two ways. One is to take $1,332,000 from that fund and then to borrow the other half. We have looked long and hard at the building, and I know you all received a letter from our historical committee that I was asked to address. Dealt with three specific items that I can answer to that. The slate roof, we have determined through the committee that, and through the work of the consultants, that it would be best to replace it with a like slate roof, all except for a small portion that is on the dormer on the south side. The roof is about 11,000 square feet, and of that, about 960 square feet is this flat dormer that was added after the original construction. Those of you who know building, you cannot put a slate roof on a flat roof, so it will be a membrane material that will be up there, not visible from the street. But the rest of it will be very like dark slate. The rest of the building materials will be matched up with existing materials as best they can. You know, if you notice, this has a red mortar in it, the mortar that's used in this building. We've gone to great lengths to ensure that that's matched up. And we look forward to really seeing this building spruced up. The other question that was needed was, there was a suggestion in that letter that there be another committee formed to look at this. I think this has been reviewed and analyzed about as much as we need. We really need to start putting this out to bid and getting some work done in the spring. Otherwise, and the consultant would advise you, we are going to start getting to the point where bricks are going to start falling out. And the other question, which we've gone at length with through the legal department, is whether or not town facilities need any type of additional historic restriction placed on them. I'm sure the town legal department can answer that question, but the ruling has been no additional restrictions are needed on town-owned facilities. So with that, I will turn that over to Mark Ells to do his brief presentation.
Good evening, and thank you. Mark Ells, Director of Public Works. As you know, our town hall is the center of our local government. Our state government has offices here as well. This building is of historic significance, and as Lindsay Council just outlined, it is the intent of this project, both design and construction, to assure that we remain compliant with those historic goals and objectives. And Mike Teller is here, the historic architect that we have selected and has proceeded with the assessment of this facility, and he will do a presentation to you shortly. We have been working on Town Hall on a regular basis now for many years, but I would categorize those repairs as more maintenance, reoccurring maintenance, as windows and as roofs have reached a point where they needed such repair. Most recently, the emergency repairs to the slate roof. We saw slate was actually coming unfastened. We repaired those last spring. We repaired the entryway, certainly in a historic manner that satisfied all those involved. We've been working on the mechanical systems to make them more efficient within the building and to put in more modern controls so that we can maximize that efficiency. This has been the first opportunity in this assessment to bring forward an evaluation of the exterior envelope. It is clear that we have issues that we need to address, and we cannot defer.
And again, it'll cost some $3 million to do the renovation and the repair to the exterior of Town Hall. Further discussion on this was postponed until October 1st.
Now, another topic on the council's agenda was a $10,000 grant from the Nature Conservancy for research done on Sandy Neck. Here's Ann Kennedy with that discussion.
2010-028, acceptance of a $10,000 grant from the Nature Conservancy for the purpose of invasive species removal work on Sandy Neck Beach.
Thank you. Town Manager.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Nature Conservancy has agreed to make a grant to the town of Barnstable in the amount of $10,000. This grant will provide funds for Sandy Neck's invasives control program. Specifically, Sandy Neck shall use the funding for staff and equipment needed to complete a season of control on the invasive species in wetlands and swales and adjacent salt marsh areas.
Do we have any council discussion? Councilor Manafo.
Mr. President, I'm just curious, maybe through the town manager, the nature of the Nature Conservancy, and if it's a privately run organization, if it's a philanthropic organization, how do they generate their funds?
Nina Coleman, Sandy Neck Park Manager.
Thank you. I'm not super familiar with their accounting, but they are a nonprofit fundraising group that then funnels the money out for purchases of land and positive projects such as this one.
Councilor Crocker.
Sometimes our grants are tied to specific linkage. Is there any linkage back to Nature Conservancy, their right to do examinations or exercises on our beachfront? Are there any ties to this grant?
The contract has been reviewed by the legal department. The only requirement is that the project is completed and that we submit a report to the Nature Conservancy.
There's no long-term rights that are granted, no connection.
No, there are not.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Seeing no one, and we have a motion to accept this. All in favor? That's unanimous, Madam Clerk.
We'll have more from Thursday night's Town Council meeting right here on Barnstable Today.
We want to remind you, of course, that we are on the cutting edge here in Barnstable Today and in the town of Barnstable. You can follow the town of Barnstable by becoming a fan on Facebook. Just type in Town of Barnstable, or Twitter as well, Barnstable MA, Barnstable MA. Again, that's on Twitter. Pretty interesting stuff, huh?
Absolutely.
In the 21st century?
We are.
Very good.
So let's take a look at the meetings coming up for this week. On Tuesday, September 22nd, the Coastal Resources Committee has a meeting at 5 o'clock in the Town Hall hearing room.
Also on Tuesday, the school committee meets at 7 o'clock in the hearing room.
Rounding out Tuesday, the Waterways Committee meets at 8 o'clock in the MEA Conference Room on Finney's Lane.
On Wednesday, September 23rd, the Old Kings Highway Historic Committee meets at 7 o'clock in the West Barnstable Community Building.
Also on Wednesday, Zoning Board of Appeals meets at 7 o'clock in the Town Hall hearing room.
And on Thursday, formal site plan review scheduled for 9 o'clock in the morning in the hearing room at Town Hall.
Also on Thursday, there's a Yarmouth Road corridor study at 5 o'clock in the Town Hall hearing room.
For Kevin Friel, I'm Andrew Gobiel. Thank you very much for joining us on this edition of Barnstable Today.